Louis Reed, ladies and gentlemen, he's president of the St. Louis Board of Aldermen, and he wants to be your next mayor of St. Louis. Good morning. Welcome back to the show, Louis Reed.
Well, thank you, McGraw. Nice seeing you.
Yes.
Great glasses, by the way.
Thank you. Elegant readers right there in Ladue for all of you who want to know. Just so we clarify this, you accidentally showed up on Martin Kilcoyne's show the other day, right?
Accidentally.
Right.
That was,
right.
I would never do that.
Lots of things to get to you. 50 days until the city election in April. How are things going?
In March.
In March, I'm sorry.
Yes, and it's going really well. It's really busy, but you know what? I really enjoy the campaign, and
you like talking to people and knocking on doors and listening to the stories.
I really, really do.
Yeah.
I really, really do. You get an opportunity to go out, talk to the voters, to to spend time, hearing about all of the things that they'd like to see in their city, and campaigning is actually fun. It's enjoyable. It's like one of those ultimate races where you go out and you get out, you leave the house at 6 or 7 in the morning, you get back at midnight,
right? And
you're just working all day.
And you sleep for 10 minutes, and you get up and you do it all again.
And do it again.
I know you enough to know that you're listening to the people of St. Louis. Give me this go around, what you have learned from talking to the people in the city of St. Louis.
I've learned that public safety is their number one issue, and then education and economic empowerment are, things that are really important to them. They worry a lot about the future of the city and the crime, plus the perception of crime and what it's done to our the businesses in the city of St. Louis in terms of attracting new businesses and new opportunities for jobs,
right.
For people, and for our neighborhoods. We have to do something about that.
It seems there are some good stories coming out of St. Louis, Cortex, and some other really good stories. It seems like it gets overshadowed by the crime which is real and the crime which is perceived but not real.
Oh, it absolutely does. We have some great we have some great stories to tell. When you look at the rebirth of Washington Avenue, you look at some of the recent wins like NGA,
right.
Us being able to keep NGA. You look at what's going on down at the Arch Grounds. I
right.
think that's magnificent. You look at some of the redevelopment that's happened in neighborhoods all across the city that has stabilized neighborhoods all across the city. And some of these things, Cortex and on and on. But all of that does get overshadowed because of just the crime that the city's been under for so many years.
Right. One of the criticisms about the soccer stadium is great. We'd love to have a soccer stadium. It'd be wonderful. But can we afford it? Wouldn't that money be spent better somewhere else, solving some of these other problems?
Yeah, and that's always the rub going into any of these things. Is this the highest and best use of the city's resources, right? So there has to be some other good that comes out of it, and it has to have a ripple effect beyond just its current footprint, right? And the total economic impact of a deal like a soccer stadium deal could have a positive impact on our business district, which helps us to fuel the things that we need in our neighborhoods. Everything from street paving to add more police officers to the street,
to more people, to more activity,
more activity.
Right, more activity. There's less crime, and
exactly.
You're also Board of Aldermen, or president of the Board of Aldermen. So where are we in this stadium funding issue? Because it sort of seems we're in no man's land right now.
Well, yes. Currently, the bill at the Board of Aldermen, we're looking at whether we're going to take it into committee and bring it out. We have to do it fairly quick,
right, because
our deadline is the 24th for getting all of that stuff out and over to the election board so that it can indeed be on the ballot. So we're working through that process. I think it's really important to give the voters an opportunity to decide what they want their future to be in terms of in terms of St. Louis being a home for a Major League Soccer team.
Have you had any conversations with Eric Greitens or the soccer people, or anything you can tell us about their? Because it sounds like they're going back to the drawing board and trying to come up with a different plan, more money, different financing, or so and so forth.
Yes, I have not had an opportunity to speak directly with the governor on it, but I do plan on having a conversation with them. But I have had an opportunity to talk to the ownership groups and everybody else involved in the thing, and also the voters. And it's strange on soccer, like for example the football stadium deal. It was real clear who was supportive and who was against the football stadium deal. The soccer stadium deal is different. There are people that you would never believe would be gung-ho soccer that are gung-ho soccer, and then there are people that understand the economic impact of a soccer stadium deal, and also there are people that understand that if we have Major League Soccer in the city of St. Louis, now we have another tool in our war chest for being able to do some additional things to combat the issues of public safety and crime in our city, because you look at, for example, football. It's expensive to have football in a high school, elementary school, and grade school, right? Soccer, all it takes is a ball, and with that ball, the kid can practice in their yard. They can practice in
the street.
They can practice in their living room and bedroom, right? With just that ball. And they have an opportunity for to go on for college scholarships and be able to go professional. So and sports play a big role in the total development of a child, right? And so we would have an opportunity for additional soccer leagues throughout the city of St. Louis, and certainly in some of our more depressed areas.
Let's talk about Tashara Jones. She is also running for the mayor of St. Louis. She was just reelected as treasurer. Controversial story came out. She's running against you, among others. A controversial story came out that she is using her office and some travel, which appears to have nothing to do with the treasurer's office. As you sit and watch this, do you have any comments on that?
Well, I know there are a lot of members of the Board of Aldermen that have been looking into this because of the legality of it, right? And not so much the frequency, although the frequency is something that we have not seen before. I think I've taken one trip in the last year or so, and then the trips that I take, I pay for personally, or my campaign would pick it up if it's campaign related,
right?
Or if it's something that we can do, that we need to do or would like to do, but it's not directly related to the job that I do as president.
So, as president of the Board of Aldermen, you've taken one official trip.
One official trip.
And you've been Board of Aldermen how long?
Well, I've taken one across the last year and a half or so. But across my time as president, across the 10 years, 10 years in office, I've probably taken probably four.
Right.
Right. So when you see a number like 50 trips going to Paris and all over the place, it's
an eye opener.
It's an eye opener. It's something that is mind-boggling when you think about the job you need to do back here and how often you would have to be gone to take 50 trips.
Does that make her unfit to be mayor?
I think that is something that the voters have to consider. I think when you look at what, for example, you look at the current mayor, Mayor Slay, he's done nowhere even remotely near that, right?
Right.
As mayor of the city of St. Louis. And and then some of the trips are there's a whole host of them that are questionable.
Right.
So.
Well, right, like a trip for a treasurer who's in charge of parking to go down to Dallas to go to a parking convention. Okay, that makes sense. But what's the Paris connection? Why do you have to go to Paris on the taxpayer dime?
Yeah, why do you have to go to Paris? And then the other trips that they're looking at is going. Going to spend some, places on Valentine's Day and all kinds of stuff. So
you've been Board of Alderman, president of Board of Alderman 10 years now.
Yes.
Holy mackerel! You've been an alderman how long?
I was an alderman for 8 years.
8 years.
2 terms.
You're a pretty squeaky clean guy. I mean, no scandals, no nothing, no whatever.
No.
I would think, because we've asked Miss Jones to come on the show, we got no response. She didn't want to come on the show. I would think that as a politician, if somebody wrote something about you that made you look negative on you or whatever, you would call me up immediately and say, McGraw, I want to come on your show. Please ask me every question under the sun.
Absolutely. You have to be an open book, and I think it's important to do that. You look at politics, especially politics in the city of St. Louis. We can't afford to miss on this one, right? We're going to have to. We have a lot of work ahead of us. I think we have, as a city, I think we're undervalued internally and externally. I think that people, when they look at the city of St. Louis, they look at it based on the crime and some of these other things, right? And us, as residents of the city of St. Louis, although we know just who and what we are, I don't believe that we come to the table and we put that forward and say, you know what, we have value. And this is a great city.
It's an inferiority complex.
It's an inferiority complex.
Louis Reed, president of the St. Louis Board of Aldermen, wants to be your next mayor. Don't go on Martin's show. No one listens to Martin's show. Come on this show. Louis Reed, you're always welcome here. Thank you for your time. Good luck on the trail, and we'll see you.